I live my life like a top fuel dragster. Always trying to go 350 mile an hour. But every once in a while, I will break and need rebuilt.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode is brought to you by R&R Pipeline, an infrastructure company. Our purpose? Enhancing America's infrastructure with a safety-driven, integrity-led culture that provides an environment for team members to grow and thrive. Top Fuel 5. So I want to talk about the mountain. So in life, we all set out for goals, achievements, desires. We, whether intentional or unintentional, we're all working towards something. Supporting your family, goal set that you have, whatever it may be. And I look at that like the mountain. And so in this journey through life, when I set a goal, the old me used to think that the mountain was the achievement. And it took such a long time to understand that the mountain wasn't the accomplishment. And so when I accomplished my first big goal in life, 12 years to buy R&R Pipeline, I thought that getting to the mountaintop was the purchase of R&R Pipeline. And lo and behold, 2 days after, I was really disappointed when I figured out that that wasn't it. That's not Mount Everest. Because now I have this responsibility. All these different people that need to be supported so their families can be supported, that were now my responsibility and Cody's responsibility. So we went from running a business to owning and running a business. And when that dynamic switched to owning the business, we not only took ownership of ourselves and our families, but we took ownership of all the people that were working at R&R Pipeline and their families. And so the dynamic changed very, very quickly. And so we realized not long after, the reality of the situation was exactly this. We got what we wanted, what we worked for, what we deserved. We worked very hard for this accomplishment, but the accomplishment wasn't the purchase. That wasn't the mountaintop. And in life, the accomplishment that we most seek out and most desire isn't the mountaintop. The accomplishment is who we become through the climb of the mountain. So success to me isn't about what you have. It's not about your accolades, about your tangible accomplishments, your net worth. Success to me is who you are and who you become in the journey to being able to accomplish these things, to build up this net worth or this accumulation of wealth. And wealth may be money, it may be freedom of time, it may be doing what you love every day, your purpose, or it may be having quality time with your family and the financial means to support that. So one day, I'm climbing up through this, journey of life, and I thought that purchase was going to be the mountaintop. And almost 5 years later, I know without a shadow of a doubt that that mountaintop was not Everest. It wasn't the purchase of that company. The actual accomplishment was who I had became as an individual to get to that ownership status. The hard work and effort over 12 years, the sacrifice, the grit, the willingness to do what it took to get to that accomplishment was the Everest. So it was the journey of the accomplishment that was really the important thing. The process of who I had became, the habits that I've instilled in myself, and the discipline over 12 years of hard work and sacrifice where there was little to no clue that it could actually be accomplished. There was no insight to this thing being an obvious go get it and win. And so the mountaintop was really just a stepping stone. The purchase was just a step. 12 years for one goal and get up on the mountain. Standing on top of that, what is perceived to be mountaintop at that moment, the cloud cover's rolling over, taking a deep breath and realize that's not the top. That's just a step. So that accomplishment was just a stepping stone all the way up. And a couple years after the purchase and owning the company, We bought the company in 2019. Then we go through a year of COVID. We had leadership turnover at the highest degree. The most experienced personnel in the company were no longer with us. And we just had such a big transition 2 years after the purchase. And so we get to this point, and then, the cloud cover clears, you're on this perceived mountaintop, and then you realize, I'm not even close to the top of the mountain. And that mountaintop is something that will actually never be accomplished. You will never reach the top of any mountain. You will always be climbing towards something. And the journey is what is actually the joy. The process of getting there, to that next step, the person you become to do that, is the win. One day, the mountain that is in front of you, that looks so far away, so high up, it will be so far behind you that you'll be barely able to look back at it and see it. But the person you become and learning to get over it, to get on top of that mountain, that will stay with you forever. And that is the point of the mountain. The point of the mountain is who you become. It's who you are willing to be to accomplish what you desire in life. The mountaintop is something that you will never reach. It is something that most of us will never, ever see, the top of the mountain that we actually want to accomplish. But we become an individual that doesn't need that mountaintop. What we actually need is the process and the joy to be in the journey and not the destination. Join the journey and not having destination disease is what success looks like. That's what life is all about. It's not what you have, but who you are. And who you are and who you become to accomplish these things that you desire to have is success to me. At the end of the day, what does that next mountain look like for you? What are you climbing up? Is it getting harder? Is it getting painful? Just know, right at the hardest time of your life, right at the peak of giving up, right at the weight being the heaviest, you're getting ready to have a breakthrough. That is when the pain becomes the hardest. That's when the weight becomes the heaviest. When you are getting ready to get to that next mountaintop, to climb to the next one, but you're right there, you're almost to that mountain. Not long after, you'll look back, and that mountaintop that was so hard to get to won't even be visible. One day, that mountain in front of you will be so far behind you, it will barely be visible in the distance. But the person you become and learning to get over it, that stays with you forever. And that is the point of the mountain.